go and you click end and it logs it. So it tracks your miles while you drive and you don't actually have to type anything yourself. And you can organize it. You can say, these are CASA miles, these are not, and you just start it when you want to use it and turn it off when you don't. You don't keep it going all the time. But that's just people, they make these apps for people who have small businesses and have to track their mileage for small businesses. But you can totally use stuff like that for CASA as tools and get your miles tracked automatically. You don't even have to type things in. They have other mileage trackers. This one is not a manual entry app, even though I put it there, because I thought I put the manual entry app one, and I didn't, clearly. So these are both automatic. They track you while you're driving. They have manual entry apps where you just type in your beginning mileage and your ending mileage when you get in the car, and it tracks it that way. And that's simple. You could also do that yourself, just typing it in your phone. But there are options where they just track you. All right. All right, so I think. Oh,
I'm here.
there you are. I know she was here. So I used hers, but this is what I do for tracking my contacts. See, Joyce's picture is the CASA symbol. That's not because she works in CASA. That's because I put it on everybody in my case, that same picture. The reason being, if I'm at work or if I'm with people or whatever, and that picture comes up on my phone while my phone is ringing, I know I need to step away from these people to take the call. Because I can't sit there and talk about CASA stuff in front of all my girlfriends while we're out for drinks. That's not going to happen. So I put that on there on every single CASA-related contact. And then whenever the phone rings, it pops up with that CASA Voices for Children logo, and I go, excuse me, and I step out, or I hit reject, one of the two. So, but you can do that, and then I utilize the spaces. There's Voices for Children Coordinator. That's the title, or company, actually, I think is the field for that one. There's addresses, so I'll put in the foster mom, her address is in there, and then when I very first started driving to her house, I'm really directionally challenged. So when I first started driving to her house, I had to click that address every time and have my GPS get me there. Now it's been 1.5 years on this case and I can get there now, thankfully, but I can't drive around the neighborhood still. I'm really directionally challenged. But I can click on that and my phone says turn right, turn left, do this, do that. There's note sections. There are so many, they'll track various information. You can put in birthdays of your CASA kids, you can put in anything you need to in there, in your contacts, in your phone, and then it's right there and it's handy. And as long as you've got that logo, it tells you, don't answer this call or step away to answer this call so that you're not talking about confidential information in front of people. So make sure that you're using your options, just so that you know. So separating your CASA emails from your regular emails, you can use folders, labels, anything. You can use separate email address, but it'll all pop up separately, and that way you can find things easier, you can track things easier, you can set rules or alerts to ensure that emails go to the proper place. So you can set up your email system so that whenever something comes in from Joyce, it automatically goes to the CASA folder and hangs out there instead of in your inbox. So if you're using your inbox in, at work or a public place or something, you don't have CASA information popping up. Also, you can find it, you can track things. Was that all? And then you need to add, as you get email addresses for CPS workers, for various CASA things, you need to be adding them to your contacts in your email. And the purpose of this is so that when they send you something that first time with an attachment on it, it doesn't get sent to spam. Like they sent you a copy of this thing and you're like, I never got that. What are you talking about? They didn't even show up for that drug test. I don't have any information on that. And they emailed you something. It was attached to the email and it went to spam because you didn't set them up. But what you can do is every time you get an email address from someone, add them to your contacts and then their messages don't go to spam. They may never email you, but you get it. You want to check your email often. I recommend at least once a day checking your email, and that's easy if you got it on your phone because you can just pull it out. But if you don't put your email on your phone, you need to log on to your computer because some of that stuff comes in and it's very time sensitive. But using your phone makes it easy. These are screenshots from my phone. So it's just faster. Okay, so on the phones you've got notes and reminders, and on your notes, that I use my notes to create logs of various things. Like if I need to remember stuff, all the notes, when you type up a note, it's time stamped, it's date stamped, it's got all that in there. So when I'm doing my reports, or I need to look something up and I need to know what happened on a certain day, it's all going to be in my notes, and I can just click on one of them and get the information from that. And then reminders are like to-do lists on your phones. You can check them off. Like if you went to a meeting and you got all these things that you need to do, you can plug them in there. As you do them, just check them off, and it's got a record of what you did and when you did it by checking them. Okay, and then you want to make sure that when you're using your phone that you're protecting your CASA. That's my niece. That's not my CASA kid. You want to make sure you're protecting your CASA kid. So you don't post sensitive information on social media. Don't post pictures. Don't post anything on social media about your CASA case. You can post, I'm a CASA, yay! Nobody cares. But, no, your friends care. That's not what I mean. Nobody cares if you post that. It's okay. Oh, wow. But you can't post, my CASA kid today went and did this and did that and did this and did that. You can't do that. So just use wisdom in that. Remember that what you can't speak out loud to your friends, you also can't put on social media. Same deal. Don't give access to other I don't know how I was phrasing that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is when you've got photos of your CASA kids and they're with other foster children, other CASA children, don't be giving that photo in a digital format to your teen CASA kid who can post it on Facebook, because you just given it, like, I have one CASA kid who just doesn't understand the concept of keeping privacy. So when I have a picture of her and her sister together, I'm not going to give her that picture, because she's going to post that somewhere, and that's going to be a photo I took that she posted on social media. Now, I'll give her pictures of herself, and she can take pictures of her and her sister, and that doesn't involve me. But if I take it, I'm not going to give it to her in digital format. I'll print it and give it to her, but that's about it. But that's just so that they are not using what you're doing to violate privacy for the other children. Then you want to keep the data safe and protected. Like I said, they might share all that they want with the world. You're not going to be able to control that. You can try and teach them some wisdom, try and teach them to be not sharing all their personal information with the world, but they might do that, but you don't join in. It's not, that's part of your job, is protecting them, and even if they're blabbing it to the world, it doesn't mean you need to. So what we were going to do, and this is my contact information, you all have it on there if you want help with phone stuff, but what we were talking about doing is like spending some time, if you all have specific things on your phone you want help with now while we're here, we can help you out, or if you have questions or whatever. So, and I talk really fast, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That was so informative. I feel like I don't know anything about my phone. I use it to text and make phone calls, but anyway, do y'all have any questions for Maddie or Shannon? And AJ's gonna talk to us for a minute, and then afterward, if you have questions or want them to help you with something, we'll do that. And I'll just remind you, everybody needs to sign in. And I think we've got plenty of pizza, so please eat more.
Maddie?
Yes.
Is there a listing on these different apps that you use?
Most of the ones that are on there that I showed you are standard on your phone, and the only one that was not was the mileage tracker, and I didn't list it, but I gave you screenshots. But all you do is just go to the apps, type in mileage tracker, and like 50 of them pop up. So, and a bunch of them are free, so don't pay for anything.
Oh.
But watch them with the lights, so you don't get a virus.
Are they heavy battery users, those mileage trackers?
I'm sorry?
The mileage trackers. I would expect that they're battery hogs.
Yeah, I mean, what I do when I have to do something like that where it's GPS tracking me while I drive or something, I just plug it in while I'm in the car so that it actually, you end up with more battery when you get out of the car, because you are in the car and you can just plug it in for that period of time. That's what I usually do, because it's not running the GPS tracker when it's off. It's only running it while you're driving and when you've told it to do it. So, I mean, I guess you could do some settings on that, but I just plug it in and then it charges while I drive there. Yeah.
I think this is for Kate.
Oh, Yes?
Who cares about the mileage? I mean,
Oh,
I-
you get a
that's-
tax letter.
It's a tax.
I know, but if I'm not gonna do that, because I've only done 200 miles a year or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
If I don't wanna track mileage,
Exactly, it's
I
up to
don't
you.
have to.
Isn't that right?
Right.
It's completely up to
That-
you.
So, and even if I just estimate, I mean, like, the mileage tracker, that's gonna be
The
pretty
IRS does not
exact,
like you
but,
to estimate.
well, but if I'm not gonna do IRS, I mean,
Right,
so
right.
I can just, all right.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't track it because I don't submit it as an itemized deduction. The only reason you would track it is if you wanted to submit it for itemized
Right.
deductions.
And if you don't,
Then don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other questions? Has everybody had a chance to meet AJ? This is AJ Reynolds. She's our executive director, been here since April.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've let her home in. Yeah, you can go ahead and turn that off. Thank